Today, we're going to finish our investigation of multi-step equations by going through the day 3 notes. Our target is that you will still be able to solve equations in one variable that contain more than one operation. So, the steps to solve a multi-step equation. Grab a piece of paper and write these down. Number 1, anytime you see parentheses, you must distribute. If you have parentheses, you won't be able to solve the problem. So if you see those, you must distribute to get rid of them. Step 2 is to combine like terms. And that's if you see something that has the same variable. And then step 3 is to just solve the equation. And generally that will probably take you 2 steps, where you box off the variable, add or subtract first, and then multiply or divide. So in day 1 of the notes, we talked about distributing. And in day 2 of the notes, we talked about combining like terms. The problems that we solve in day 3 of the notes will have both distributing and combining like terms. Problem number 1. So to solve this equation, we will find our equal sign, draw our line straight down the middle, and then we're going to follow the steps from the last screen. So step 1 said to distribute. We distribute the number that's right in front of the parentheses. And in front of the parentheses, I see a -3. Remember, you must always include the sign in front of the number. I'm going to take that -3 and draw arrows to indicate that I'm distributing it into the parentheses. Then I multiply. -3 times x is -3x. -3 times a -2 makes a +6. Everything outside of the parentheses needs to be brought down. So I will bring down the 4x, and I will bring down the equals 21. Step 2, I need to look for like terms. So in this problem, I'm going to take a look at the left-hand side first, since that's the sign with a lot of terms. On the left-hand side, I see a 4x and a -3x. These are like terms because they both have an x attached to them. So I simplify by doing exactly what it says. 4x minus 3x is just 1x. The +6 is a constant, and there's no other constants on the left side of the equation, so I just bring it down. Equals 21. Step 3, solve the equation, and it's probably a 2-step equation. So, find your variable, box it off. Outside of the box is a +6. To undo that, I need to subtract 6 from both sides. These will cancel. I bring down 1x equals 21 minus 6 leaves me with 15. From here, if I really need to, I can divide both sides by 1, but I'm still left with just x is equal to 15. No, you do not need to divide by 1. You can just jump from here to here, but I know many of you like to show that work, so you can definitely divide both sides by 1. It does not hurt. Problem number 2. Draw your line where the equal sign is, and let's go through the steps. Step 1, distribute. There's a -6 immediately in front of the parentheses, so that's what will be distributed to the terms that are inside the parentheses. Multiply. -6 times 2x is -12x. -6 times +5 is -30. Bring down everything that was not part of that distributing. So I'm going to bring down that 10x equals, and I'm going to bring down that 20. Step 2, combine like terms. So right off the bat, I see a 10x minus 12x. And I do exactly what it says. 10 minus 12 is -2 and drop down the x. The other term is a constant, and there's no other constants to pair it with, so I just drop that down, equals 20. Step 3, solve the two-step equation. So box off the variable. Outside of the box, I see a -30. To undo that, I'm going to add 30 to both sides. I drop down the -2x equals 20 plus 30 is 50. Last step is to undo this multiplication by dividing both sides by -2. And I'm left with x is equal to -25. Pause the video if you're not done writing, because we're going to clear the screen and then we're going to go through 2 U-try problems together. Problem number 3. Let's find the equal sign and draw the line straight down the middle, and then go through the steps to solve. So step 1, I need to distribute the -2. The -2 is the number that's right in front of the parentheses, so that's what gets distributed. Which of these answer choices shows the correct distribution? The correct distribution would be -2x plus 2. Drop down all the things that were not part of that. Step 2, combine like terms. I'm going to focus on the left-hand side because that's where all of my terms are. Should I combine x's or should I combine constants? In this problem, I should combine x's because I have 2 terms that have an x. So 5x minus 2x leaves me with 3x. Bring down the plus 2 equals 8. Time to solve. I'm going to box off my variable. What's the first step in solving? Subtract 2 from both sides. 3x equals 8 minus 2 is 6. What's the final step? Divide both sides by 3, and I get x equals 2. One more problem. Take a look at problem number 4. We're going to follow the same steps. So step 1, distribute the number that's immediately in front of the parentheses. So the -3 will get distributed to the y and to the 4. Which of the following answers shows the correct distribution? -3y minus 12. Bring down the 2y and bring down the equals 13. Second step, combine like terms. This time I see a lot of terms on the right-hand side, so I'm going to focus on the right. Should I combine terms that have a y in them, or should I combine constants? Since I have 2 terms that have a y in them, I should combine those. So 2y minus 3y is -1y. Bring down the minus 12 and bring down the equals 13. All right, time to solve this two-step equation. Box off the variable. Now what should I do? Add 12 to both sides. 13 plus 12 gives me 25 equals -1y. And what's the final step? I need to divide both sides by -1. So I'm left with y is equal to -25.